Winston plans to exact revenge on Cormac for the death of his brother Frankie in the second episode of the show. Winston must, however, first assemble a strong coalition before facing Cormac. As a result, Winston makes touch with Cormac's trustworthy ally, Charon. If you are wondering whether Winston succeeds in forming a powerful crew and Charon joins his ranks, here's everything you need to know about the ending of the Continental Episode 2. Spoilers ahead. As Yen heals from her wounds, Winston, Scott, Miles, and Lou create Frankie's body in the opening scene of the second episode, Night 2, Loyalty to the Master. The Orphan Master, who controls Chinatown's illegal enterprises, forcibly installs a cigarette machine in Lou's dojo in the meanwhile. When Maydew first meets KD, he attempts to talk her off of looking into the Continental, but she won't give up. Winston later plans to invade the Continental in order to combat Cormac. Lou and Miles, though, make an effort to dissuade him. Winston informs the gang that Cormac would kill everyone who is near Frankie until he gets the compress, which is still missing. Miles, Lou, and Lemmy consequently grudgingly consent to assist Winston in eliminating Cormac. As Winston begins assembling a squad, he assigns Miles to find Jenkins, an old acquaintance of Miles' father who harbors animosity toward Cormac. Winston, in the meantime, goes to the Bowery to meet Maisie, a lady who manages a strong crew and would support his cause. Miles sets out to gather supplies for their battle against Cormac and the Continental assassins after enlisting the help of Jenkins, a proficient marksman. From a military base, Miles and Yen steal a van that is loaded with weaponry. Later, the Adjudicator visits Cormac and chastises him for not finding the pilfered coin press. She offers Cormac 3 days to make things right, failing which he would incur the wrath of the High Table and be eliminated. When KD goes to the cremation facility, she learns who Frankie's associates are. By breaking the law, she persuades Mayhew to assist her in her hunt for a van associated with the crooks. When Winston first meets Maisie, she won't grant him her assistance unless he tells her his whole tale. Winston, though, is compelled to leave the Bowery when Cormac's men show up to look for him. Lou battles the men of the Orphan Master and makes them stop their illicit activity in her dojo. Jenkins and Winston keep a tight eye on the Continental as they search for a strategic advantage. Jenkins says that if Cormac were to be killed on the hotel property, an alert would go out, drawing the attention of all the assassins stationed there. Charon is identified by Winston as a potential ally in his conflict with Cormac. Conversely, out on the rooftop, Charon discusses his desires with his friend, the hotel musician Thomas. Thomas tells Charon that he has been admitted to an Irish music school and invites her to accompany him. Charon declines, though, since he feels obligated to Cormac for his assistance. To enable Cormac to bring his father to the United States, he wishes to demonstrate his allegiance to him. Winston tries to turn Charon against Cormac in the last part of the episode. Taking advantage of Charon's work transportation, he chats with the hotel concierge. Winston finds out that Charon's main motivation for remaining faithful to Cormac is his wish to relocate his father to the United States. Winston informs Charon about his previous interactions with Cormac and cautions the concierge that Cormac is just interested in himself. When Winston fights Cormac, he hopes to have Charon on his side. Following his education by Winston on Cormac and his particularly traumatic childhood memories working for him, Charon displays obvious anxiety for the future of himself and his family. Upon reaching the hotel, Charon, it appears, swears allegiance to Cormac and won't allow Winston alter his viewpoint. In the last minutes of the show, Charon finds out that Cormac killed Thomas. Cormac subsequently confesses that the latter was attempting to take something of value. Charon, he alleges. Charon also discloses that Winston made an attempt to enlist him in his crew. Cormac keeps his word to bring Charon's father to the United States, which strengthens Charon's loyalty to him. But given Charon's steadfast devotion to Winston in the main John Wick movies, it will be interesting to watch how that bond develops going forward. When Cormac violates the no-killing rule in the closing seconds, the story takes yet another turn. The Continental Hotel in the franchise adheres to the stringent policy of no business on the grounds, which prohibits killing. The occurrence serves as further evidence that Cormac and the other owners of the business are subject to the rule. News of Cormac's murder of Thomas makes its way to the Adjudicator. The Adjudicator does not, however, take any action against Cormac for disobeying the directive. The Adjudicator desires a more intense confrontation between Cormac and Winston in order to bring the lost currency press back to life. Thus, it seems that the High Table is prepared to overlook Cormac's disobedience of its regulations. But the Adjudicator makes it clear that if the coin press is found, The High Table will punish him. Ultimately, Cormac's violation of the no-killing directive signals the beginning of a full-scale conflict between Cormac and Winston's army. It will be intriguing to watch how Winston deals with the High Table and exacts his retribution on Cormac as a result.